This is a spectacular record of failure. So what green project backed by Bowen hasn't been in strife? I mean, it's just his rollout of wind and solar factories and transmissions lines, that's late or way over budget. His plan to get companies to build solar panels here, also in trouble. His target to get Australians to buy more electric cars, in huge problems as well. He's had to, in fact, drop his target of having electric cars make up 89% of the new cars sold by the end of this decade because they're just not selling. The plan was always nuts. Everything Bowen touches seems to turn to
shit, in my very strong view.
I thought it's easy, that I know what shit means. But it turns out I didn't know shit.
He promised to cut your electricity bills by $275. As you know, they've actually exploded instead. He promised to run the new Kurri Kurri gas plant in New South Wales on green hydrogen. Plant operators told him, can't be done. It's almost funny. At the start of August, last August, Bowen said,
I like to travel and shit.
In Parliament House.
Bowen said he'd give Ampol $100 million to build 200 new charging stations for electric cars by the end of the year. It took just 2 weeks for Ampol to come back to him and say, look, sorry, boss, it's technically impossible without a massive upgrade of our power system. Bowen even had a plan to spend nearly $2 million to help invent a new renewable fuel for aeroplanes, again, to cut emissions.
We know the opportunities are enormous for Australia and New Zealand to be key parts of the supply chain for sustainable aviation fuel across not just our region but the world.
But on that very same day, Air New Zealand said it was actually dropping its emissions targets because the fuel would just cost too much. This is a spectacular record of failure. And you have to ask,
what does this bloke have to do to lose his job?
And it's not okay. Someone's got to call it out.
How can someone so incompetent, so blinded by his green ideology, with a record of unadulterated failure virtually, be in charge of our power supply?
It's not okay to question conspiracy theories.
Destroying a coal-fired power system that works with dodgy schemes, green hydrogen, that simply are not working. Bowen has to be fired before he kills this economy.
In my very strong view.
Fired.
Then I learned that if somebody says, I have shit to do, it can refer to any activity whatsoever. Any, except one, actually shitty.